Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's going on? Storming outside, man. So I figure I just jump on the podcast. I got a interesting topic I want to talk about, man. I want to get y'all feedback. So I know it's a spur of the moment thing. I know it's a spur of the moment, but I want to talk about something, get y'all input. Just type in the comments, let me know y'all can hear me. What's up, AP? What's going on, bro? I got a question for the people in our league, and I want to get some feedback. I'm just see if more people join the show. Definitely got to play my track real quick.
Press, catch you in that red zone and then on my cue. Coach O draw up the play and we gon' slide through. Slime you, get you stepped over like Ty Lue. It don't matter if you 6'9" or you 5'2". Boom, throwing them pads, put on the cleats, foot in the dirt, slip on the gloves, yelling out straps, ain't nothing sweet. You can get hurt out on the field, ride for the team, grass of the streets, even on turf, snapping on three, throwing them dots, see the technique, putting in work. Hail Mary, feeling something like I'm Pac. If it ain't us, then you nothing but a eye. Tri-County, man, we coming for your slide. High bounty, put 100 on your top. We seen crime, seen drugs, seen murder, seen guns, seen death, seen jail, seen further. This game done saved some lives. We certain, we grind, we hustle, we moving, we working.
What's going on? What's going on? I'm just gonna wait like a couple more minutes, man. I got a question I want to ask. I want to get some like honest feedback. And when we talking, man, if you want to join the conversation, I can send you a link. You join the link, man. But all I ask is, man, no drinking or smoking in the background. You know what I mean? Just keep it a little, you know what I mean? Keep it clean with a podcast, because this show goes on to YouTube as well. So I'm trying to get my views and all that good stuff up. Get back to the comments real quick. There we go. Yo, Los. Reggie, what up? What up? Hey, Los, man, I was thinking about our conversation we was having, man. So I finally got some time today. So, I want to talk about it, man. I posed the question, what do what would be the general like opinion of people for our league, our American conference, to go back to two divisions? And I talked to a couple people, man. They were all for it. They were all for it. I talked to a couple people about teams moving up from the national conference up to the American, because in my opinion, I don't got nothing against any national team, but I want all the teams to move up to the American. You know what I mean? There's some teams that are in the national that could really get and give good bump. Pause. For our league, to make our league stronger. I didn't like the fact, as a board member, I didn't like the fact that we had more teams in the national conference. And their scheduling was, I mean, rather was done rather easily compared to the American. And that right there, got me thinking. So I actually, yeah, yo, listen, Reggie, that's something that we went away from, but we had to go away from it because it was too many teams going back to national conference, I should say. But I'm all for the four divisions because it helps with the schedule as well. So, you know what I mean? I did come up with a schedule. I mean, I'm just gonna put it on the screen for y'all, and then we can talk about it. There it is right there. So the only thing that we would need as a league is for Delsey to move up. And the two divisions would be like this. We get six division games and then two crossover games with the opposite side. What I like about this is you got your Millvilles, your Violence, and Bridgeton still playing, those rivalry games, because last year we didn't have that because the schedule was all over the place. Um, I don't know this for sure, but I believe Paulsboro is coming to the American. That's not set in stone. This is a hypothetical uh American. Obviously, you see Delsey, and they're still in the national. So I just want to get your opinion, man. Just what I mean, chop it up. Because if this takes off, man, and it's something we can do, we will do it as a league. But we can't just make the decision on our own. Let's see. Yeah, bro, man. Let me tell you, I was talking to Frank about all those faraway games. Um, we even tried, you know, like six or seven different hypothetical situations with all the different teams. But I think this one here makes the most sense because hey Robbie, listen. I'm gonna be 1,000%, man. I was talking to Frank, our president, about the importance of the Camden teams being an American, bro. Because I'm from the city. I grew up with my eras when Centerville was like the best around. My a lot of my best friends, a lot of my friends played for Centerville. I played for Whitman Park. You know what I mean? My first year playing, for the city, it was my eighth grade year, and then that's when they had East Side, Kramer Hill, Whitman Park, North Camden. So this mad talent in the city, and I want Centerville and East Side in the American, bro. I think that'll make the competition even better because the talent there is there, man. Ain't nobody ain't nobody speaking. to a brick wall when we talk about talent in the city. So my opinion, I want Centerville, Whitman Park, and East Side, all three programs to be in the American. And then Burlington City, they will be on our side because they're the furthest team north. And for us, we used to taking that ride up 130, 295. That ain't nothing. But to have your in division games right now with what we got now, what I got on the screen, you get 6 of them and 2 crossover games. But those crossover games is not to say that they're going to be home games for us. You know what I mean, for your organization. But as being in this Woodbury, being in Woodbury, mm, facts. Being in Woodbury, man, we got to play Millville. We got to play Bridgeton. You know what I mean? Like that's or Violent. Like that's when I moved out here. When I started coming out here, that's how it was, man. Them games was tough as hell. Listen, I'm all for Lindenwood. I don't know if Pennsville would. I don't know. Would they move up? Because there are teams that say if they get moved to nationals, they leave, and I don't know. Yeah, from my understanding, man, Millville they gonna get their shit together. Um, what obviously we all on Facebook. From what I'm reading, they are going through interesting situation. But yo, Lex, yeah, man, everybody. I think me personally, I think our whole league should be one, just like the way the NFL is. The only thing I don't like about Sterling, man, they play on Sundays, man. Their home games is on Sundays. I don't like that shit. But let me give y'all a little insight on how it works. We want for the last 2 years, we've been wanting the league to be as one whole league. We schedule everything by division. A couple weeks out of your schedule, you do have to travel, of course, because we got to all play each other somehow, some way. Um, but because the orgs vote, it always gets it's been getting shot down. It's been getting shot down. It's like right, right. But we can that right, Los. So there's ways to split it up, but it's still one championship. You get what I'm saying? One championship, and that's what we want. What level is that, Reggie? Robbie, I agree with you, man. If you got 2 good levels, you should be in the American. I know firsthand one of our orgs in the national. I know for a fact who it was. They were good. They were real good on almost all their levels. We told them they moving up, and they said, "Fuck that. Y'all move us up, we leaving." So that's the kind of stuff we deal with. Yo, Al, that's the kind of stuff we deal with. You know what I mean? And we don't want to lose teams. We want to keep adding teams and staying at that around that 30 range because that's what makes us one of the best league in the state. We don't want to make a move and lose teams because what I mean that ain't fair to the other to the whole league as a whole. Man, I hope none of y'all driving in this weather, man. It's shitty as hell out there. Right now this is a proposal. You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree, Los. Right now, this is see. I put Delsey on here because when we was in the meeting, the the rep from Delsey was like, we don't mind moving up." So to make it make sense, you know what I mean? Logistically, I put Delsey up there. Same thing as Paulsboro. Like, I mean, I'm not quite sure what we're doing with them as a league yet. Yeah, 14U level is tough, man. Like, that's something else I want to talk about too. We gonna get there. Paulsboro. Yeah, yep. Pennsgrove is going national to the national conference. Yep. So if we leave Paulsboro and the American and it looks like this, this all makes sense. Everybody's basically in one corridor on this side. Division 2, obviously, everything gets spaced out the farther south you go. So that's why it's like that. But all them teams can get each other within 25 to 30 minutes. Hey, Los, man. Los, you preaching to the choir, bro. You preaching to the choir. And let me tell you something. The only reason I understand where you coming from, because when I started, man, my teams was in the basement, but I never asked the organization to think about going to nationals. Gotta take the punches, take the bruises, man, and just coach these kids up. Man, Pleasantville, an hour for us too. What you talking about? What's up, bro? But Salem is like 25 minutes from on our side down 295. Yeah, yo, listen, that's what I want to talk about, man. Man, we all hated them drives. We went 2 years ago, we started the season in Pleasantville. Started the season down there, man. Um, yeah, 14U, man. 14U's tough. I think ever since we went even, we missed a point when we had Pleasantville. Yeah. That's why they on the other side, loose. That's why they on the other side. Yeah, I've been hearing Violent 14U gonna be tough too. Right now from I don't know what I don't know what GT's done. I don't know if any of those kids from their 12U move up. But it's hard to tell because the 14U kind of gets retooled every year because a lot of kids make that 12U cutoff date and they're eighth graders. So a lot of them go to high school. So they either when they get to 14U, it's either, reclass kids or freshmen playing down. Bridgeton, Violin, Millville, Defford, Salem, Paulsboro, Woodbury, Monroe. Hell no. Hell no, Jabril. Nah, I wouldn't be Monroe, they rebuilding. I think they had like I think they had two good levels. I know their 11U was tough, and I think it was their 10U. Yeah, yeah. That's true. So, I don't want to speak on Millville's behalf. You get what I'm saying? So hypothetically speaking, if they don't go with their org this year, then them kids are splitting up. Man, the only thing I know about Pittsgrove is that's where we have our 7-on-7 tournament. Are they even good? I know last year they had a cupcake ass schedule. So yeah, back to that 14U, man. It's tough. Listen, I'm holding workouts and I got ninth graders showing up. Like a lot of the kids, like I said, they 12U. Yeah, they 12, you leave 12U and you go to a lot of these kids, man. I just think I just think this is my opinion. Oh, okay. This is my opinion. If you're see, it's hard to determine who's good and who's not. You know what I mean? That's an eye test thing. But those third year 12U players, man, I think they should be moving up to 14U to keep those 14Us afloat. Because when you stay down that third year, you stay down that third year, man, that you go into high school right after that. And listen, man, some kids, some parents, some coaches, they don't believe in that reclass or playing down as a freshman. Some kids need it. I'm a strong advocate. Pittsgrove 14s went to the oh, that's right. It was to oh, that's right. They was talking shit. They was talking shit at the during our championship game. He wasn't worrying about them. We would beat the brakes off of them. But yeah, so yeah. Oh yeah, I did see it. That's right. They went to like an AAU tournament, right? Something like that. Pittsgrove stacked their team, but playing with their right, right. That's man. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with playing in American, man. It's that shit ain't it ain't nothing to be scared about. To be honest with you, like, cause that one or who said they'll leave us ain't nothing to be scared about, man. Just fucking play the games, get better as a coach. Cumberland County Kings coming where though to damn to Tri County. So y'all putting an all star team together down there to play some games. Is that a independent thing? Y'all put a little poll up there. Type one or two in the chat. To me, I coach in both. There are no right, right facts. I agree with that, Robbie. I definitely agree with that. No gas in our 14. You went to Pittsgrove last year. We might work something out with Millville and Violent. Yeah, Los, that's where I remember seeing them in the spring with that name. Yeah, that the 14U division's tough, man. I just wish we thought about it when, we didn't want the 12-year-olds playing with 15-year-olds. Like there's gotta be a way. There's gotta be a way to put to keep the kids coming to 14U. That way we can have a season. Cause it was crazy having 12-year-olds playing with 15-year-olds, but obviously, you know, with our cutoff, I mean, you can't be you ain't gonna be 15 to damn near after the season. Yeah, that's true, Lex. That's something Frank brought up. That's something Frank brought up about I think Isaac brought it up too. It's like how as a whole league, like think about it. We're under UYFL umbrella. The American teams are the ones who, if they're built, to go national, they want to go. But as a whole league, we allow the national teams to vote on bylaws pertaining to the American League, if that makes sense. Like we never understood that. Oh man. Man, I'm all for this two divisions, man. Yeah, it don't make sense. It don't make sense at all. It don't make sense at all. Come on, Los. Give me if you ain't vote, man, put one or two for the poll on the divisions. Just type it in. This is information I can send back to the league because a lot of y'all with organizations. Um, what was that, Robbie? Jabra, I knew you was gonna put two. That motherfucker said Pleasantville. Nope. That probably a home game for y'all. You never know. Like who though? Hey Los, you got just type in one or two. I got a poll going for two divisions starting this year. And what I get out of this, I'll take it back to the league in the meeting and we can discuss it further and it can probably be like an executive order or something, but it can't be done without getting a high approval rate. You get what I'm saying? So what teams, Jabril, what teams won't play each other? You get what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you get right now as it is now, if you look at the screen, you're getting 6 games with your division and then 2 games with, Division One. So 2 games would be crossover games. Hey Los, you in the crib, Los? Anybody got any ideas for to fix a 14U problem? Because that's something that's been for the last few years. We we didn't have two divisions last year, bro. We had a straight, just a straight schedule. Gabriel, where you coach at, bro? Yeah, but that was BC. BC was in us in Deptford. That's because we had to fill the schedule. What you talking about is we it was schedule fillers. Lunk. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now I remember the last name. Running back. Is that your son, the running back? Was it 12s last year? Yeah, yeah. You're right, bro. You're absolutely right. But think about it. You gonna play Millville if this were to be the schedule. You're gonna play Millville and Violin this year. If this were to be the. Oh, that's what's up, man. That's a good kid, man. Q last year on tens and Woodbury, yeah. I remember that, but all this is based on everybody basically filling all the levels. I mean, obviously we know there's levels to it. Scatterboo, yup. Yeah, man. But listen, I'm gonna tell you what though. One thing I respect about Monroe, not one time, even talking with Frank, not one time I heard a coach. I don't think I heard a parent talk about we need to go to nationals, bro. Them kids out in Monroe, whoever they suiting up with, they out, they going. It should be one division for 14U. That was something we talked about last year because the national conference had more 14U teams than the American. Hey, bro, it is. You get 6 division games. You get 6 division games and 2 crossover games with either side. Either division. Why not draw a line on the mat to prevent the traveling until playoffs start? Well, that's what we did. That's what this is. This is the best we can do it with the teams like Delsey. Obviously, Delsey is a national. If we can get Delsey to move up, and we still got to vote on Paulsboro as a league. But this is the best we can come up with because, for instance, Woodbury's right next to Deptford. Whitman Park, which is Camden, is no. It was just the top. I think it was the top 8 teams. I don't believe it was divisions last year. It was just the top 8 teams. Woodbury is right next to 295. You can get on 295 to go to Kingsway and Paulsboro and Salem. Whitman Park, that's right down 295, 676 into the hood. GT is right next to Deptford. So on our side, but we're bunched up on this side. Y'all gotta remember that. And then Monroe, Delsey, Winslow, they all kind of like they just big areas, but they kind of next to each other. Millville, obviously Millville, Violent, Bridgeton is pretty close to each other. And Pleasantville is the furthest one away. Shit, y'all gotta see, y'all gotta see when we added BC to the schedule, like as a whole, their games was far as shit. Traveling, if they had to play Pleasantville or Pleasantville had to come up and play them, that shit, BC far as shit. Yeah, so it was top 8. It was top 8. Oh man. So if you ain't vote, man, just type in one in the chat. Type in one or two if y'all kind of agree for this. Man, let me see something, man. See something here. Damn, I should have added for a whole league. For the whole league. Well, we got one vote for that. Playoff seeding last year? What's up, Kyrie? I I don't know a lot about Pennsville. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't I don't I don't know a lot. Sterling? I liked when Sterling was in our league a few years ago. I like when they was in our conference, I should say. My bad. Eddie Scott, what's up? Honestly, violent? Nah, man. I think the 114 you level that should do 12, 13. I mean, that's basically going back to the way it was. So Pennsville's a good organization. Well, if they're good, they should be moved up. Matter of fact, I did scrimmage them a couple years ago. I think going even. I'm trying to like talk about as people, text, send their messages. What I like about the even, it makes the 12s like a really good level. I believe even when we were sophomore levels, those games were good. Freshmen was good. And look, their eight was won the chip. Damn. Yeah, there you go right there. Yeah, it's something to talk about. What's up, Frank? You know what I mean? I'm just sitting here getting the feeling for these divisions. We got a couple people who love the idea of making it a whole league, but we got to go one step at a time. I did explain we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose teams. That's not where we want to go as a league. So they had two levels that was good. Better me than you, Frank. Better me than you. And Pennsville's another 295. I believe 290. Jump on 295. Get right down there. Yep. Now Pennsville maybe. Clayton got three good levels. Clayton got three good levels. I remember their tens. I don't know about the other levels. Salem and Delsey should swap. Salem is on the 295 corridor. How fast can you get to Salem from, let's just say, Bridgeton, Millville of Ireland? Why not do like the four and the, hey bro, that's I mean that's I mean that's what we want to do kind of. Well, those that's something that's been talked about, but we need the whole league to be for one championship. One everybody on one schedule because you can't do it in the American because with this here we got one team in Delsey that's international. Then we got Paulsboro that we still didn't kind of vote on yet from Bridgeton. And yeah, right. Hey, Kyrie, I agree with that, bro. I agree with that, bro. I agree with that. I agree with that. I just think uh, it's like Paulsboro is such a rivalry. Paulsboro, they have y'all guys got such a name for yourselves. Me personally, I can't see that. I can't see them. I can't see that Paulsboro the national. I think that's nasty work. But that's not nothing against Paulsboro. I just think they just the program is like like a historic program. That's my opinion. Salem is far from all those division teams, but right, bro, it's 20 minutes from me. What are you talking about, Eddie? Salem is like 20 minutes from Woodbury. Right, Frank, you we talked about this. Hey, my bad, Frank. Hey, Papa, that's something I don't know. I thought it was always like that. American play national after the championship. It's not about size for Mace Landing. It's the travel and draw a line. I mean, hey Lou. I mean, it's true. What college? I'm talking about. You talking about Salem Rams? Salem is like 20 minutes, 25 minutes tops from my crib. Come on, man. Listen, Bridgeton is 45 minutes from us. It used to be the top national team. Well, I heard that too. So obviously all that got changed with bylaws throughout the years. I just think my opinion and being a board member is if we really want to make our our league the best league in the state, I think we all should be one. Point blank period. We shouldn't have I respect and the kids putting I respect the kids putting in the work to win, a championship, but it should be one championship. It should be one championship. Gotta be. You got it. It's called planting the seed. Planting the seed. Pause. All right, man. How about this one? I put a new poll up. one for yes, two for no. I just got it as simple as one whole league. We all know what we talking about on here. Everybody know what we talking about. I'm listen. I'm a fan for the whole league. I have broken things down to go over in the next. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's basically, man. That's what Frank just said. Los, yo, H. That's what that we've been working on that stuff, man. To be honest with you, be honest with y'all, we want this is what we want, but we also respect that the organizations in our league is what runs our organization. So, like I said, we don't want to lose. We do not want to lose orgs, but we do have to give the information properly so people have the right be in the right state of mind to vote, man. Honestly, we're tired. I'm tired. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm tired of everybody just voting no for things that they're not even really considering to help our league out. We're seeing that too much in our voting process where we make a vote and Frank as the president has to kind of like pause the meeting and explain it like man, anything for you, Frank. You my guy, bro. Nah, the league. I don't think the league will water down if we're talking about we want to put it, we want to format like the NFL. I want Frank. I be trying to tell Frank to get on the podcast, Lex. He always turning it down. Um, every league. Let's look at the NFL. We want to model ourselves after that with divisions and how the playoffs is format and whatnot. There are bottom feeder teams. It is what it is. No matter what. Yep. Listen, honestly, we just put if we go one whole league, we put the onus on the coaching. You gotta go out there and coach. You gotta go out there and coach. Every week counts. Every practice counts. Cause the kids, let me tell y'all something. We all know this. The kids ain't making these decisions for these orgs. It's the adults, it's the grown-ups, you know what I mean? Hey Lex, you should get on the podcast. How about that? Public enemy number one. Yep, I agree. I agree. Big time. Kate Reagan. You got to go out there and coach, but these parents got to let coaches do their job. That's a whole nother that's a whole nother topic right there. That's a whole nother topic. I agree. I agree with that 1,000%. At least only problem with one league, you're going to have more than half of these teams wanting the kids to play for their sending districts. That's why a lot of these teams not competing. These kids go elsewhere for whatever reasons. Hmm. What level? What I think that only hurts. I think that's hurting the 14U level because I think every level filled the teams in our league except that 14U level. That was the tough one right there. I mean, last year when I was at Deptford, we had to play Woodbury twice, and then the way this playoffs happened, we had to play them a third time. Hey, Robbie, where you coach at? Where you coach at, Robbie? Out East Side? Robbie just brought it up. I'm in one league, play where you lay. If you don't want your kid to play where you lay, then that's a reflection on coaching. Uh, you got some points there, Gabriel. Hey, Robbie, just a little quick story. When I move when I moved out here and shit, um when I started coaching out here and shit, I tried to bring my sons to play, here in Woodbury. They was living with their mom down in the city. And Anton told us that if my sons don't play for him, they're not playing at all. But I'm coaching in Woodbury. Does that play where you lay still stand? You know what I mean? Like I don't think it does. How can I watch my kids in down in East Side or Whitman Park? Because I don't think Centerville was part of our league yet. And Whitman Park, neither was Whitman Park. Shit. Whitman Park came in with the merger. But how can me as a parent coach on a senior level, and then my boys are playing down the East Side? So I am a fan of play where you lay, but as a parent, if I don't want my kid to play for organization, that's my right. I should be coaching there. Man, listen, I came out here to watch my stepsons play, man, and the energy out here. I think I think the first game I watched was Woodbury versus Millville. Yeah, see that's exactly what I did. I always do what's best for mine. I got you. I got you right now, Frank. Mm. Hey Frank, I just sent you an invite via Messenger. Let me see. Hey Robbie, you don't understand, bro. He wouldn't Anton would not sign it, bro. I had to go to court and tell the judge in a custody battle that my kids live with me from July to December just so they can play with me. Hey Kyrie, that's what I did over here in Woodbury, man. I got three early 20-year-old coaches, man. All right. Let me put this away. Get this going. Add to the stage. Mr. President, how you doing?
Oh boy. Now we're in trouble.
Speak your mind, buddy.
Oh boy.
Yo, Alex said this podcast is sponsored by We Work in the Podcast, Woodbury Steelers, and was it Avila nightclub?
Avila, yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
We
might have registration day there. We might have to have registration there.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't find a venue?
Not yet, so it might be there.
Yo, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we got Frank Copa on. I've been trying to get him on the podcast for 2 years.
See, it was just you, so that's why I gave you an opportunity. Nah, man. Honestly, I was just looking at what people are saying, and
Uh-huh.
I mean, there. Everything makes sense. Everyone just has to take everything into consideration. There's so many different factors.
Correct.
I do believe that the league is going to even itself out, and it has been. I mean, you take away Deptford's senior team last year, um,
I
and
agree.
really there was a lot more even keel play football um, than just that one team. There really was, and I do
Right.
believe that it is going to even out. And don't get me wrong, there are organizations that do struggle. Yeah, there
Right.
are, but they have to also ask themselves, why do they struggle?
Right.
Is it
Right.
is it coaching? Is it the vibe that goes on there? Is it what is it? And see if it can be rectified.
Right.
But I do believe that you know making changes for the better of the entire league is really where we should be headed. And in my mind, and I have talked to other people, like, do I believe that one giant league is the way to go? When I looked at it on paper at first, I thought no, and then when I kind of broke it down, and I did spend some time talking to you on the phone about it the other
Uh-huh.
day, and when I did break it down into like geographical map wise, it
Correct.
really didn't. It worked out pretty damn good, and like even as far as like I looked at each team and how far they had to travel for a game, and the first way I did it without the furthest a team was traveling was 35, 40 miles.
Right.
Where the way we are now, you got a crossover game, you got a chance of traveling 60 miles.
You're
A
right.
team like
Hour.
Paulsboro might,
Yes.
if they got to drive to Atlantic City, that's an hour and 5-10 minute ride,
Correct. Correct.
and then that's tough. So, but I do believe that things will even out more. I really do.
Good.
I don't know.
Uh, that was the purpose of this show here. We
Yeah.
want to make our league better. That's the main goal. As you me as a board member, you as the president, we only get 2 years before we get voted in, revote.
Yeah. Like I got one more year to try to, and I,
Right.
and I, I believe that we've been successful with what we've done because we have a good group of people, a core group of people that are behind us helping.
Right.
Many of the organizations have, I don't want to say cleaned up their act, but have, done better. When we just turn
Good
around,
job.
we're like, you got to do
Right.
better.
Right.
And they have. And most of everyone now takes a little more pride in what they do. We try to hold what we do to a little bit of a higher standards. Even as far as what we did a couple years ago, with as stupid as it may have been, when a coach or a player got, ejected or something, and we're sending mug shouts out of coaches each week. As
Right.
funny as it may have been, it was effective. Last year was the least amount of kids ejected and the least
Right.
amount of coaches
Coaches,
ejected.
yeah.
And holding referees accountable. I mean, how many leagues are really holding refs accountable? I mean, we went out on a limb last year and everybody told us we would never be able to do it. We would never be able to walk away from SJOA. And not knocking them, but they backed us into a corner and didn't think that we would be able to pull it off. And you know, God bless, we did. And
Right.
hopefully this
Right.
year it gets better. But again, we hold them accountable too. And
Right.
I think that's the only way to do it. But you know,
I,
we'll see.
I got a question for you, scheduling wise. Could this year, can we make a certain week rivalry week? Do you think that's possible?
So I think it's possible as long as the teams are in the right um, on the right side.
Right.
I don't know really if anybody's going to move or not move. Wherever we end up putting the teams that have come in, the Winslow and Paulsboro.
Right.
Obviously, I think since we brought Pensgrove back as Pensgrove from the existing Pensgrove, they're going to stay where they're at. So it's really just a question of Paulsboro and Winslow. Um,
Okay.
Someone has to go into the American division, whether it's one of them or someone from the national side.
It has
to
to come
even
up.
things out because we can't go in it with just 12.
Yes,
And
correct.
with the talk of Millville possibly falling to 10, it's pretty embarrassing. We
Co-
kind of
I, I agree.
stuck our chest out and made it like, oh, we're the toughest league, and here we are. That part of the league is dwindling, and everyone wants to play on the
Yeah.
national side. So it's questionable. I spoke to Millville today.
Okay.
I think things are very positive. I think that they will bounce back and they will be on their feet this season.
Okay. Okay.
Financially, they might have a little bit of a hardship, and we'll deal with that as we get to it. But I think that,
Mhm.
someone is going to take over, and things will be okay. I mean, they're getting a little bit of a late jump, but
Mhm.
I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, we got a. I've been paying attention, man. We got a few national team coaches on here that's saying like they're for it. National right now. Robbie just said 18 teams in the national is crazy. It's too much.
Yeah, it's just too much. I can't see
It's
the
too much.
comments, but I guess you can. So I don't. I don't.
Oh
Um, yeah.
yeah.
So it is too much.
How about if I do this here? Go ahead. I'm listening, Frank.
Yeah, it's definitely too many. I mean, the way I think if it laid out right now, it would end up being 12 in the American and maybe 14 in the national. If someone was to move or someone that gets placed in the American,
Okay.
I think that's kind of how it would pan out. Just a matter of who, and don't get me wrong, if I don't get a text every single day being like, oh, move Pittsgrove, oh, move Pennsville, and oh,
Right.
move.
Right.
And my answer is always like, I don't really make those decisions on my own. Like I try to do everything on the,
Right. A lot of
out in the
people don't
open.
understand how it works.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, like
Right.
everybody thinks like I'm just making these behind the door decisions, and really at the end of the day I'm not. I'm really putting a lot of thought into it and talking to people and saying, what about this? Like right now I'm trying to get a hold of everyone's records from last year because I can't get them off the website. So we reached out
Because
to Charlie to say, listen, really who was the best, I don't want to say team, the organization, who had the best
right.
organizational record last year, that was in the American division. I mean, I'm sorry, the national division. So like, it's hard. It's definitely hard, and nobody
Yep.
ever wants to move. Nobody wants to go down. Nobody wants to go up.
Yep.
Everybody wants to stay status quo.
Nah,
But
well, that has to change.
yeah,
There's no
like
there, there's no more status quo. Our league needs to be for the better.
yes,
Um, we got somebody on here right now, loose on the 50, said national seems better on the better side right now,
it
competition
probably is.
wise.
It
But
probably is.
he's jokingly making a good point. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
there's
Those
more competitive football being
yes,
watched down there right now than
yes,
anything. I mean, you look at an organization like Delsey, who I guess Colin like took them out of the rubble. I mean, they were down and out, and you know what? That's a very competitive
yes,
organization right now.
correct.
And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of extremely good organizations. I mean, they're everyone's on the uprise. And like I said, the ones that are struggling, they just have to figure out why they're struggling, and those are
Right,
the things that are hard to fix.
right.
Yeah.
Lex said Centerville should come over to the American.
Centerville?
Centerville.
You think
Listen,
so? Now, somebody today told me the Predators. They're like, oh, you got to
listen.
move the Predators. I'm like, they just moved down.
I say both of them, and I'm speaking on behalf of being from the city.
Mhm.
I know the aura that Centerville brings.
So,
I
for
think
instance, if we went one league,
uh-huh,
one division,
uh-huh,
and we broke them down into geographical. Like, let's say Division One would be all three Camden teams: Whitman
right,
Park,
uh-huh,
Centerville, and
East
and
Side,
and East Side, along with Woodbury, Deptford, probably Sterling, and you
yeah,
kind of got to throw Burlington City in the mix there because they're
yep,
the
you have
furthest.
to, yep,
They're
you
the
have to,
furthest team out, but they're the closest
right,
geographically to those
yep,
teams. So you just look at that division right there, like that's not a bad division,
it's not,
And you don't want to call it a division, but it's your NFC East, NFC
yeah,
West,
it's your
however it
division,
pans
yep,
out.
yep,
The next one would be basically, I think it was Lindenwald, Monroe, Clayton, Glassboro, Delsey, Kingsway, and GT that kind of matched up evenly
Mhm.
in distances.
And that's
And
drawing the lines. Yep.
and that's like literally drawing the lines in the sand, and you're like, okay, nobody travels more than 30 miles, unless it's playoffs. I guess the next one that would be broken up would be Salem, Pennsgrove, Pennsville,
Yep.
Paulsboro,
Yep.
Bridgeton, Pittsgrove kind of areas.
Yep.
And again, that's competitive. That's still competitive football.
Exactly.
It's not.
I agree.
It really isn't that bad.
Listen, if it were up to me, executive order.
Yeah, it would be culture shock. If I turned around and did that this year, I think they'd run me out of town. I mean, without ever discussing anything like that, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
that would be a
right,
bold move, and I don't really feel comfortable doing that. I get people be
right.
trying to take my head off at games and stuff like that. But even as far as today, like, I had a conversation with someone, and they're like, oh well, even Monroe, like, you're not as competitive, and do you ever think about moving Monroe down? And I'm like, when even
Nah.
though we don't win, you still had every level make the playoffs.
Yep.
You
In our
still
current
had
format.
probably
Right.
3 out of 4 JV levels make the playoffs. So you're still playing above 500 football. So what gives you the right to say, oh, you belong to move down just because you don't win a championship? Well, listen,
Right.
a lot of people don't win championships, and as fun as it may be, that doesn't mean that you belong in a American or a national division. It just
Right. Correct.
just so
Correct.
happens.
Yep.
It's no easy task. There's a lot more thought that goes into this than people think. We definitely put a lot of time into it, and I kind of laugh because there's plenty of times where we ask people to join, and say, oh, you want to be on a committee to do divisions, and
Yep.
nobody nobody wants to do it. You go that night, and there's the same 2 people there that have been there, and that's it. There's nothing. Nobody wants to
Yeah.
put the input or put the time in it and do the homework.
Correct. Correct.
Like you and I sat for a couple hours the other day, just going over different scenarios. And
Mm-hmm.
you see something, you fix it. You go back and you look at it again, and you look at it again, and you look at it
Right.
again, and
Right.
you see how it works out for everyone. And we spoke, and I'm like, so and so keeps getting screwed. Like, you can't have them go an
Right. Right.
hour.
Right.
You gotta try to figure it out.
Yep.
But it's not as easy as everybody thinks. It's a very tough league. It's a very competitive league, and there's a lot of pride. There's a lot of pride involved in what we
Right.
do.
I saw so, obviously I'm used to being an American, but ever since we started the broadcast and we were able to watch the games,
Mhm.
the championship games, championship weekend,
Mhm.
I just think those national teams, that's what started giving me the idea, like, why aren't we? That question, why aren't we one full league? Because these kids can play football.
Oh, hell yeah.
You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
just because they're national mean they can't play. It's
Mhm.
just that's the way our league is structured right now, but I don't think it should be like that anymore. And
Yeah.
I got the poll up, y'all in the comment, type 1 for yes, 2 for no if you want a whole league. And
Yeah.
this, we get the people feedback and all that.
Yeah. And that's something else too. I don't think people think that we actually listen,
No, we listen.
but we do. We definitely
We listen.
listen. I listen. Every single
We
day. There's
listen.
some other parent or coach that's hit me on Facebook Messenger with all these questions and rules and changes, and why don't we do
Right,
this and why don't we do that? And
right.
listen, I do. I listen to all of it. It
You
all. It all. People might
got
not
a
think I do,
million
but I
you
do.
got a million pieces of paper
Yeah, it's everywhere. I got shit written
everywhere.
down all over the place.
Listen, man, we getting all ones for yes right now, all
Yeah.
over. We
I
got
do
millions.
believe. I believe. I do believe that it would make a big difference.
Hey, hey, Los, you got a point there. Carlos says American coaches don't watch enough national games.
Yeah, that could be true.
There's some truth to that. There's some truth to that. But that's because some coaches believe the national coaches don't want the bump, so they don't waste their time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's my opinion. That's my take on that. But championship weekend, that's definitely something. And then, I'm real good friends with Ben. So
Mhm.
Ben, we talk all the time. You get what I'm saying? And I know what's going on down there in the national. It's I like the concept of and yeah, facts. Facts. So a lot of people like the concept of the full league, 4 divisions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then I didn't read what was the last division was Atlantic City, Pleasantville, Mays Landing, Vineland, Millville, and then I threw Winslow into that mix because
Because
technically
they're
they
off
can
of
jump right.
the
They can jump right
expressway.
on. Right. Yeah.
Right. They're right off the expressway.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
So even though it's a long what's that like 40 minutes? No, not even
They're
for
furthest.
Winslow.
They're 38 miles from Atlantic City,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's their furthest. That's their furthest
Yep,
run.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, that looks good.
but it's tough, man. It's definitely tough. Um, you always hope you make the right decisions, and I
Yeah,
always say, listen, I've made plenty of wrong ones, but if you own up to it, it is what it is.
right. Hey, Tariq, where you coach at? He said, "Nah, don't throw us in there."
Oh,
We need I just think I think it's we're getting the right feedback. Like I said, going on the podcast, you get people from all over.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just think Winslow. Oh, he coaching Winslow. Yeah, but honestly, it's like and I'm talking to the people. We're always gonna do what's best for the league. None of these decisions that are made are in the best interest of a certain org, a certain individual.
Yeah, as much
Everything
as everybody
everything we
thinks
go
that
through.
gets done, it really doesn't. It really
Yeah,
does not get done.
yeah. It's
It
it's
may
a
have
lot.
gotten done 10, 15 years ago, but it's definitely not happening now.
Right. So somebody in the chat asks, so are any more teams trying to come over? Just
Um,
you don't have to say the names. You could just say a number if you have.
so right now there was only one other one that was in the mix, and I
Okay.
believe that there were two. The one board voted no, and the other one, I think it was about whether a new president took over. If the new president took over, then they were coming, and I think the old president retained, so they gave us the old. We're going to try again next year. I think
Oh, okay.
most of their coaches want to come, but I think that the board is afraid,
Okay.
and that's one of them situations where I don't want to say that they're king of the hill where they are now, but um,
Right.
it would be a scary jump for them,
Right.
because
Right.
I do believe that we still are from top to bottom, the
Right.
most competitive league out there, whether it's American or national. I still believe that.
Okay. Somebody says, however it goes this year, Woodbury Jr. is winning it all. That's it.
Actually, you know what? I think that the sophomore division is going to be one of the most competitive this year for
Yeah.
some reason. I don't know. It's just got a
Listen,
weird feeling.
you still got the same coaches down there. Then you added Isaac down there.
Yeah.
And last year was competitive. That's some these kids, man. These coaches are getting the best out of kids on that level, man.
Yeah.
They're playing, man.
They're definitely, I think that most organizations are really, really, really putting a lot of effort into trying to get some quality coaches. And I think I said this to you before, like the way things are now with, kids and transfer and parents taking their
Mhm.
kids in all these places, high school football has become college football, and
Yes,
college
correct.
football is pro football,
Yep.
and we're basically high school ball now.
Yep.
Even though we're dealing with little kids, and some of these kids don't even know how to write their name, but they're running sweeps and dive plays and reading stuff off their wristbands. They don't even know how to
Right,
read,
right.
and we get a lot out of them. I watch kids that play football, and I'll go watch them at a baseball game, and they don't even look like they run to first base. And I'm like, wait, that's little so and so. I'm like,
Right,
that
right.
kid, you can't touch him. He don't even know where to stand in the batter's box. I'm like, do better, you know?
Yeah. I just think watching the last few years from the Pee Wees to
Mhm.
the 10U that our league is in good hands. These little kids are gonna be there's a lot of special kids out there.
Yeah.
Lot of good teams. I'm hoping those teams stay together. You get what I'm
That's what I was
saying?
going to say. Like,
I'm hoping
it
they.
really sucks when teams break up and kids,
Yeah, yeah,
disappear just because they're chasing a chip or something like that. It really is important to keep kids together, especially if they're gonna, if they happen to be going to the same high school or wherever they end up. It's so much better when they end up, they're playing together, they're playing multiple years together, they just get to know each other, and it just builds better
yeah.
football. You
Right.
know.
Hey Frank, the comments. Someone asked when the placements of the teams going to be finalized. You can give a estimate.
So I am hoping that over the next 2 weeks we will
Okay.
be able to finalize because it's
We're
going to
still
take
waiting on a couple
even
teams, right?
yeah, like even though I've done like 20 different mock-up schedules to
Uh-huh.
just hit Ben with and Sean to get like a basis, one little changes everything. Like today, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, well, if Winslow should move to here, then that means one of these teams has to move to there, and then that means that game no longer works, and the whole thing is
Yeah.
is
Right,
in the
right,
trash, and you're starting all over again.
right, right. We're
So,
trying to avoid what we went through last week.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you guys could have seen the schedule that I would get from Paul
Oh,
prior to like us being able to make it public, the marks and highlights and moves and notes
yeah,
that were all over it, it would take us 2-3 days just to take it apart and make it make sense. And I do mean this. If there's anyone from an org that's on there that's listening, like, man, put your put your shit in now. If you can't play at home, make sure that is in. If you can't have to play a certain day or certain times, like the BS of once the schedule comes out and you're like, oh well, I forgot to tell you,
right.
that ain't
Yeah,
gonna fly, dude.
that
It's not gonna fly this year. Um,
right,
do it right and get it done right the first time. So,
right.
to answer that question, I'm hoping that by mid June we should be able to have a first version, end of June, a first version of a schedule, and hopefully it's correct. Like I said, I got a million of them on my desktop right now. None of them make sense, but I have like every single possible scenario,
Right, right.
mapped out without home or away, but like just teams playing each other.
Okay. And for everybody listening, um, would our refs be available for org versus org preseason games? You think our
So
refs would be available?
yes, they definitely would be.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So anybody who want to set up games for your organization throughout the preseason. Oh, there you go. I didn't even know y'all was on here. Tri-County officials. Just hit up Tri-County officials to set something up. So y'all can iron out details and times and all that stuff.
Yeah, there definitely would be.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, they're on here now. I didn't know they were on. They were listening. Tuned in. Who runs that page?
I think that's Isaiah, maybe.
All right. Kingsway said, "Can you move them down?"
Yeah, they're on the top of my list.
You hear that, Reggie? Listen, I'm a big advocate for the Camden teams to be in the American side until we're one whole league. I'm hoping that their board feels the same way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm hoping their board sees it like that too. So, I don't see any other comments.
See, the one time you get me on, there's nothing to talk about. See?
Oh, they're talking. They're talking. Somebody asked why Mays Landing keep getting talked about. Why aren't they being moved up? They have 4 teams in the championship.
I know why they didn't get moved up.
Yo, Kev, I'm talking about what you mean when I just mentioned Centerville and Eastside? Alexis said, "Can she join the board?"
Yeah.
We got you get nominated and then you gotta get the votes. Sue, you want to answer that, Frank? Sewell said, "What's up with
What did he
Millville?"
say? Millville is
Oh,
they
you can. Oh, there you go.
you there? Yeah,
Yeah.
they're working on it.
Okay. Um, what's the deal with broadcast positions in Tri County? Is that something we can do as a league? Um,
Broadcast positions, meaning what?
well, because we're doing our broadcast, weekly, correct? Am I
Right.
right? We
Yes.
have a new company.
Yes.
There's somebody that does the broadcasting in the spring, like on the field stuff,
Hmm.
and basically he's asking if we can work something out where he's part of Tri County, doing some things like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say just reach out to me,
Okay.
and then I'll put you in touch with the people that are doing it now for this
Because
season.
because he can be one, you know, from what I've seen him do in the spring, he can be one where we can assign him when his team's not playing, we can assign him a game or two. He does some work for us there on the side, so we can put on our YouTube page and our social medias and stuff.
Yeah, I do like the fact that we're going to have our own page
Yeah.
on YouTube. We're not going to
Yep.
someone else's.
Right.
They are going to do social media posts for us, also like highlights and
Good.
of
Good.
of some of the games. They're also going to try to like this person is saying, like, get down on the field with things. And so again, like every single season we're trying to do something that's a little better. And then I laugh when I see other leagues following in our footsteps, and I'm like, I just laugh and I'm like, whatever, if it works it works. Not everything's always going to work. But yeah, definitely. Get me the info, and I'll put you in touch with the right people.
You hear that, Loose? Just contact DM Frank. Ah. Got another question. Well, somebody said Tri County Super Bowl solves all the issues both sides.
Yep.
What do you think?
So I think it's a great idea, but every year that we bring it up, it gets shot down by the teams in the other
Yeah.
division.
And
They're
that's what
just,
I
you
started
know,
off the podcast with that. Like people
yeah,
need to understand, like, we can't just go and make a decision. Everything comes with a vote.
yep,
And we just get shot down. Like
yeah,
teams really don't want to do that at the end of the year. Some teams,
yep,
coaches do. Let me rephrase this. Coaches do, and
yeah,
some coaches don't. But when it comes to a vote, it's the league reps, and
yeah.
you get what I'm
It
saying?
really,
Like,
I mean, look, it would be great. Definitely would be great to see,
yeah,
like, one more game, a true Super Bowl. But so many of them teams, a lot of these coaches too, like some of them, they just check out after that day. They want no
hmm
parts of it. Uh, but I believe that it should happen also. But you know, it's not
What's up,
just
Justin? Yeah, no, I agree. Someone asked, "How do I get a media pass for film for Tri Count?" Oh, because he
so you
does a
just
lot of different people's stuff, and I guess they keep telling him to get off the field and stuff.
yeah. So no
So,
matter what, each organization gets one
uh-huh.
that they just have to register somebody for, and they can get a media badge for each organization.
Okay.
Last year, I gave out four for the league on the league side to four
Okay.
different people, and all I asked in return was, send me highlights, and I didn't get shit.
Oh, no, that's not.
So I'll tell you how
No,
that
that's
worked
not.
out.
That's not good.
Yeah,
Oh, we'll talk about that more.
because again, like we want to promote the league no matter what.
Correct.
So I
Correct.
want people putting highlights out there, and whatever it is, even if it's little things, whatever it may be. Like you want as many people showing, a Woodbury jersey or a Pennsville or a
Yeah.
Pennsgrove or a whatchamacallit jersey and whatever it may be. You want that out there.
Yes. Correct.
So I'm open to it.
Yep.
The only thing we don't allow that a lot of other leagues may or may not allow is somebody actually on the actual
Yeah.
playing
The
field.
on-field media. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know how they get away with that. You watch some of these tournaments in Florida, and there's a guy in the goddamn huddle. Like,
Yeah.
that's distracting. I mean, I know it sounds great, and you're watching it, and you're like, oh, this is great, but really on
Right.
the field, that is not great.
Lexus says she got some Woodbury highlights she gonna send in.
Oh, thanks.
um.
Tell Alexis I'm installing the lights at Woodbury.
Ah.
We're working a contract now.
LED lights.
Yeah,
As long as they could flicker like yours, bro,
that's
that's
it.
dope.
That's it. Thoroughly highlight.
So someone asked about basically how do we go about keeping stats? Is that an organization thing and we turn it into the league, or do we put somebody in charge of that?
Like actual individual player stats?
Yeah, like for the game, and then the stats get broken down, and then
So I'm going to tell you something that's completely batshit crazy. So I don't know how we would do something like that. Someone would have to come up with some type of algorithm to make that work. And it was last year or the year before where I go, we should have like fantasy football for the youth league. Like how crazy would that be if you're drafting kids onto your fantasy youth team at a 10U level, right? And you're watching their stats go up as the day goes on. You're like, he scored a touchdown, I got X amount of points. I don't know how that would work. I don't know how the algorithms like that kind of stuff is really way out of my my pay grade.
I honestly want to put together an all tri-county team paper wise, since we don't really know what we're doing about all-star.
Even the all-stars. So like I ran that by people, and everyone thinks it's a good idea, but nobody thinks that they'll actually do it.
Right.
Take the time after every game to be like, okay, these 3 or 4 kids, I thought they were, exceptional on the other side, and put the vote in for them. Everybody thinks that it'll just get, sat by the wayside, and I don't know. Baby steps is what I mean. That's all I can say.
Facts. I like the Kev says we getting carried away. We got some championship weekend questions. Can we change the location? Everybody tired of driving to Bridgeton.
So I am tired of driving to Bridgeton, but Bridgeton is very, very good to us. They do not charge us for the venue.
Yep.
They take care of us. They have security. They have people cleaning up. They take care of the bathrooms. Their press box is right on point.
Yep.
But it is one of the furthest spots for everyone, other than Bridgeton. But every other place that we've tried to get either has pulled out in the last minute. We'll reserve Bridgeton no matter what, and then we'll see, what happens and whatever it may be. But every other spot either pulls out, or they want $2,000 to use the venue, or $3,000 use the venue each day. And again, Bridgeton they don't charge the league anything. And that money goes back to the organizations that play that day. And I don't know if many people know that aren't involved.
Right.
But every dollar that comes through the gate on championship weekend goes back to the teams that are playing that day
and helping
like if you sign up to help out that day, your team gets a piece of the gate. Everything gets broken down to basically an hourly rate, and that hourly rate then gets multiplied by the number of people that you have there working, and then that gate money after the whatever was needed to be paid for that particular day goes right back to the to each organization. So the league gets zero. They don't get any of that money at all.
Now, why does Rowan keep backing out on us?
Rowan, the problem with Rowan is when you make the agreement with them, they basically say if something better comes along, we'll bump you.
Oh.
So last year we had Rowan and got bumped for there was some type of soccer thing that came into town with like national, like there was some type of soccer, and they were using Rowan for practices, and we got bumped for that. The year before we got bumped for another reason. I don't remember what it was, but we got bumped the year before. And the funny thing is, in between that time, you have like, the athletic director from Rowan contacting me saying, we really want to get more involved with you guys. And I'm like, well, every time I try, you put me out on the side.
Right. Now, so, I mean.
So there's a couple other, like, if you think about what's really centrally located, Clayton, Rowan.
Clayton has the high school with the gate, correct?
Yeah, they got a gate, they got a turf, they got a brand new field. So the reason I didn't go to Clayton was because you have a really hard time with internet and cell service there,
And we need it for
and we
broadcasting.
needed it for the broadcast. So
Okay.
so we were scary to go to Clayton. Like I couldn't even send them to cover Clayton games the one year. They couldn't get a live feed um, out of there.
And I was just ready to say parking is probably crazy too.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Will said parking is crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure. But like that would be a perfect place. And
Ah,
Glassboro is another pretty centrally located from everyone.
Kingsway? Somebody just said Kingsway.
Kingsway High School.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to get there last year, and we couldn't get it.
How about Pennsauken? Pennsauken has a nice
Penn Dawkins Field over on 30 or 73.
73.
Yeah. So I never tried to get there. I don't know. Was it
They're great. They're great there.
what
They
did
have a nice
SJ
facility.
did SJU have a championship there?
I have no idea.
I remember being there for some championship. I don't remember. And I think that was the place where they wouldn't let you use the snack stand or something.
Man, Highland, Triton. Is Triton turf? Defford, West Defford. We want turf fields.
Yeah, it
That's
would
what
have to
we
be
want.
turf.
Yeah.
Got to have
Washington
an enclosed
Township is
press box.
good.
Washington
Washington
Township
Township,
they
yeah.
want 3,500.
They want 3,500.
Yeah,
Camden Catholic,
Camden Catholic.
their turf. Their parking's okay. They have lights.
Hmm.
Um, add the seating. Yeah, that's a good spot. A lot of spring teams were playing over there at Camden Catholic a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, someone just has to make the contact, to find out if they'll give it.
Somebody put
Give it
Camden High.
because
That's
you needed both days too. You needed
yeah,
all day
yeah, 2
Saturday,
days,
all day
correct.
Sunday.
Well, we wouldn't need both days if we was one whole league.
True, true.
We could save us some money.
You know what else you could touch on too? I mean, I know I get a lot of phone calls about, why don't you do every age? 6, 7, 8, 9,
Nah,
10,
that's
11, 12.
impossible. That's
Everyone
every
asks
age.
that question all the time. And my answer is always this. And I stick by this, honestly. If we did go every age, it really does eliminate the JV program.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
And what happens is you have a stud 10-year-old who's now playing on the 10 team, who now is playing against a kid who's also 10 that there's no right for him to be on the same field as him. He's not ready, and that kid's going to
Right.
get hurt. So, because he can't play on the nines, he doesn't make the cut to play down. He's got to play, age appropriate. So it really does eliminate a JV program. And then the other question is, how the hell would we get all those games
Yep.
in one day? I mean, like,
Right.
when do you start? If you had every level, I don't know when.
You gotta
And you can't,
start 6 in the morning.
yeah, and you can't say, "Oh, play Saturday and Sunday," because you're already playing Saturday and Sunday
Right.
now.
Right. No, I'm not. Our orgs aren't built for every level,
Yeah,
and then comes as a parent. Yep, high school is not every age, so keep it the way it is. Yep,
yeah. There you go.
that's so true. We're having how do you guys feel about the freshmen playing down in on the 14U level? What's your opinions? I know mine is it works because of the 12U taking those players that can play 14U ball because they're age eligible. They make
Yeah,
the
it
cutoff.
works. It works okay if they're age eligible. I got age
Does
eligible. Like I got in an argument with somebody last year on the sidelines. They're like, "Oh, well, it's a disgrace you're allowing these high school kids to play." I'm like, the kid's 14, just like everybody else. They're all the same age. And they're like, "Oh, what do you mean?" I'm like, they can only play if they're age appropriate. They can't be a 15-year
right.
old
So
in
so
high school.
so what I learned is if you're a kid that's a freshman and playing down like in Woodbury, if I'm not mistaken, they're not even allowed to lift weights or anything. You're not part of the program.
Right.
So you're not getting a kid who's actually in the weight room, getting getting bigger, faster, stronger than your average 14U kid.
Right.
I I would love for not to have the ninth graders, but our 14U needs them. Point blank period. That's the only way I think a lot of orgs are going to fill teams this year. And also you got some high schools that don't have that doesn't have freshman clubs, the
Right.
freshman level. So when they go in there, yes, it's JV, and we all as competitors and tough parents are like, well, you're gonna play JV. Well, I witnessed kids not even get a rep in JV because they're just not ready for that.
Right.
So it's like
Yeah, I mean
a gift.
they could
It's a
be in
gift and a
JV and
curse.
they're playing against a kid that's 17.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen
that's
it.
crazy.
Yeah, right, right. They can't go to the camps. They can't. I mean, honestly, they can. They can. They can go to the camps, but once their official football stuff starts, they they can't play. They can't.
Mhm.
And it's sad that we had to come to that in our league. Let me read some comments here. 14U needs them because 14-year-olds are typically freshmen. Not too many 14-year-olds play eighth grade. It's true. That's absolutely true. That's what I was saying. You normally a 14-year-old is reclass nowadays. So it does mess with the high school numbers, and I'm talking to the chat and you. It does mess with high school numbers as far as depth, but like the stuff I hear from kids that's they don't even want to play high school football because they're not even some of these kids are going straight from 12U to ninth grade.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's only a very, very, very small percentage. Is a small percentage of kids that can go from 12U to play high school ball, who can compete on a JV level. I mean, somehow, some way, I wish just the 14U level could get restructured to get the players, and we can get away from the high school kids coming down. But
It's
it's
really
hard.
hard to do
Yes.
without, you know, we've already, tampered with things enough and people's
Right.
egos of saying, well, you're killing these kids. The 12-year-olds need to go up. No, no, they need to stay down. I
Yeah.
remember
Right.
before
Right. And that
people
was the
would cry,
issue.
oh, they need to have their own division. As soon as you gave them their own division, they were like, oh, they need to be up. I'm like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, you'll never make everybody happy.
Open up the merge after and get rid of the 14s.
What is saying?
Somebody said open up the merger of 13, like basically having 12U, 13U. The problem with 13U is you got a lot of 13-year-olds that make the cutoff for 12s. So we will have to figure that out.
Yeah.
So, for instance, like a kid like Tyro. Tyro was an eighth grader in 12U, and then he reclassed the next year to play 14U ball.
I mean, that's the whole reclass thing's a whole nother issue. I mean, you know, uh, uh, is it good? Is it not good? I don't know.
I I
I don't really, I really don't know.
reclass. Listen, reclass. Me as a parent, if you reclass your kid, I think you should have a program, schedule, eating, weightlifting, whatever. Don't reclass your kid just to play football again.
Well, that's what
That's
I think happens a lot.
and
It's
that's
just,
why I respect
yeah,
what NLG school is
right.
because you're reclassing there to learn and more football and be better at football.
Yeah. You
Not
get a lot
true.
of people that are just
Base-
reclassing just to do it.
Yeah, Sewell said
And
not
then,
true. 14U should be fine. I bet I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. Just come to my workouts and see how many ninth graders don't want to go to high school, bro. I think it's a sad thing personally. I'm not telling the kids to play for me, but
So
their parents.
let me ask you this, Orlando. I think that a lot of these programs, the high school programs, and I see it here in my own town, they overlook the freshman program. Now, like if
Yes.
my high school's got a freshman program where there's 40, 50 kids going out on going out there, or 30 or 20 or whatever it may be,
Uh huh.
they don't get the respect and the work ethic that they deserve.
Yep.
And I
I
think that's
agree.
what turns a lot of kids off too. If a kid is really passionate about playing ball and they get to high school and,
Because
it's
it's
the
right.
runt of the litter coach that doesn't really know what he's doing,
Mm-hmm.
and the varsity coach never takes a look at anything that goes on down there and doesn't even know the kids' names unless they're like some stud that they're
Right.
already
Right.
up on varsity. That's not fair neither. And I think that's
Mhm.
what happened at a lot of these schools. They just stopped caring about what was going on at the freshman level.
Yep.
So it happens. But listen, my time is up.
Yep. Man, I
You got
appreciate you
me.
joining. I appreciate it.
I don't know how to get off this thing, but
I'll get you out of here. Don't
you
worry
just
about it.
exit me out.
I got you.
You'll never see me again. One and done.
All right, buddy. Take care.
See you, man.
All right. Yeah. So, listen, hey, Los, listen. I agree. I agree. Like, I don't think ninth graders should be playing, but I just want y'all to look at it from the 14U perspective. If the kids aren't reclassing, because some reclass requires money, and some reclass requires maneuvering to another town and shit like that, and you just can't do it, right? When you hear the certain things kids are saying, like for instance, I'm not gonna say any names, but I know kids are telling me I didn't get enough last year to go to high school. I'm not telling them, yeah, you right. Excuse me. You right, play for my team. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not even encouraging any ninth grader to play for me. I'm telling the parent, high school is where they should be, but if y'all not playing high school ball, then play football. As I know for one, my son, when I reclassed him 4 years ago, 4 years, I'll get to that, Bundy. Hold on. 4 years ago, he told me if he going to high school, he not playing because he was small. I mean, he didn't hit his growth spurt. And then watching my stepson and his boys in the weight room, my son would have never fell in love with football after that if he would have went to high school. So I reclassed him. He got taller. You know what I mean? Things changed. He got more mature, and it worked out for him. Yeah, yeah, Bundy. So our 14U, it just it everything changed, and that was the argument a lot of people had when we went to the even ages. Because what happened was a lot of 12-year-olds were playing 15-year-old kids. So instead of fixing that cutoff, they just took the 12, made it even so the 12s have their own level. And yeah, so we struggling big time. Oh, in the evening. Nah, I got on because of that division shit. I just wanted to put it out there because I would rather, being a board member, I would rather hear what the everybody around the league, their opinions. Yeah, but how many 13U teams are we gonna have? Like, you gotta think about that. That's another thing to think about. Are we gonna have enough for, like, are we gonna have 8 teams, 10 teams, 12 teams, or are we only gonna have 6 teams? And then the coaching, we merge, Eagles in the way. Like, are we gonna merge two coaching staffs? Who's gonna do what? You know what I mean? You know how it go, man. Oh, in the evening. I'm about to get that, Al. Nah, I don't got time for that. Listen, I'm for whatever makes that 14U team not miss a game or double schedule a game for the season. I'm with it. I just wish that 14U level was 7th and 8th graders the way it used to be. Because you get it like that, and then you keep those kids together for 2 years, then they want to go to high school together. And then you get that, that conversation of kids not want to go to the high school. So us as a league, I mean, we listen. If something makes sense for us to fix that 14U level, we definitely would. Hey Los, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I like that idea. But like I said, nah, when you merge, you can't, it's just it is what it is. Like for instance, on like Los was saying in the pandemic, Woodbury went to Deptford, and that junior team was built basically from Woodbury and Deptford kids. We didn't have the younger divisions in 14U. That shit was a shit show over there, so we wasn't going to merge with them. I just think I don't think we can fix that this year. So all I know is I want Centerville and Eastside in American this year. I want to see Centerville 12s play Woodbury 12s. Robbie, you still on here? Right now, Kev, it's the same teams as last year. We're just trying to figure out. Obviously, we can't do a whole league this year because too many teams will start crying about shit. So we're trying to see if we can like split it up. I had the picture up. I could put it up again. I had the picture up, and this is kind of what it would look like. Los, I want the game to mean something. That's what I'm saying. Hey Kev, this is not how it's gonna be. This is just like hypothetically speaking, if we went to two divisions. So obviously, it's gonna be a couple changes. You know what I mean, but I just think you get the on Division One, you get the Woodburys playing the Deffers, the Whitmans. You know what I mean? Paulsboro and Woodbury is a rivalry, so that's that's always good for the league. But the league is always going to do what's best for the organization. You get what I'm saying? So if Paulsboro's in the national conference, for a year, then it is what it is. But then you go over to Division Two, you gotta have Millville, Violent, and Briston playing each other. Nah, Delsey's not moving up. I just got them on there because that's a team that will make sense. If they were to move up, they help out the division. And if it makes sense, we pitch the offer to them to move up. This is how we would, pitch that offer to them, Chris. There's a lot of people think that the league is just ran off of like one person or two people, and that's just not how it is. You know what I mean? And I just, I just want y'all to understand that everything gets put through a vote. If you, and I mean y'all, if y'all look at these topics and y'all, yeah, Delsey does need to move up. And y'all look at these topics and y'all be like, yo, this all makes sense. And us as a league, it give us more power to be like, this is what our people want. Like, this is what we want. This is what they want. Delsey did say in the meeting they don't mind moving up. That's what gave me this idea. So we need to get on the horn with them and see what they talking about. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a movie on them 10 on that 10U this year, dog. We can't wait to see that shit. Man, listen, man. Hey guys, listen, I appreciate y'all joining this show. This was something out the blue. Anybody got any ideas, man? Anything we could talk about, man? Y'all could DM me. Y'all can get on the podcast with me. We can talk about it. We want to make our league great. And we want to do what's best for the kids as well. I know us as adults, the coaches, we the one pumping our chest with the wins and losses and all championships and all that shit. But we got to do what's best for the kids, and that's getting them bump every week, as much bump as possible, and that makes our league better. You know what I mean? And then us as coaches, we could talk all our shit. But man, I appreciate y'all taking time out y'all day, man. Peace.